Hello, everyone, and welcome to Aerospace Chronicles with myself, Katrina Douglas.
And me, Bumi Dura, would you? How are you doing?
So, as ever, we have a number of great stories for you. Do you know what? Even every week when we prepare, we're just like, wow, 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 wow. Like it even energizes us. So, really excited to share these stories with you. So, if you have any comments, any queries, any questions, as ever, drop them in the comment box below. But let's get started with what's new in aerospace and aviation this month. Right. So where should we start for me? Because there's so much this month.
There is. But why don't we start at home? Why don't we start UK? And here we are. And again, probably something that people have heard about already, but it's about our UK space agency. It is due and scheduled to merge, and interestingly, with a department now for science, innovation, and technology. This is due to happen around April 2026. Kind of interesting move, and you and I are going to talk. The reasons that's been put out there at the moment is in order to streamline operations within departments, to reduce duplication. So that's kind of interesting, right? Who's been doing what so far? And also, and this is very interesting, to improve ministerial oversight.
Wow, very interesting.
Ministers now want to know what's happening. Going on.
Yeah, what's happening.
So yeah, and also the other piece is there is a big intention to strengthen our strategy to support satellite development more effectively. It's energy in that direction, but an interesting move, right?
I think it's very interesting. To be honest, I'm all for enterprise, and whenever something gets swallowed, something commercial gets swallowed up into a government agency, I'm always a little bit dubious. For me, I always feel like it's going to slow things down. It's going to stagger competitiveness. And I think that at a time where a lot of countries are creating space agencies, I think the fact that we're absorbing ours into government, I don't know if I'm convinced personally. I don't know how it makes us look to the rest of the world. If especially if we want to be positioned as a leader in space, if we want to be taken seriously, the fact that now our space agency, which did have independence, which almost did give us a degree of credibility because we had a whole entity just dedicated to space, now that it's absorbed into a larger government department, I don't know if that's going to be good or not. Personally, I think it should have stayed separate, but then again,
we're going to watch that space. I mean, what's interesting is the direction it went. Why did we not actually see what the overlap was within the science, innovation, technology piece, and bolster the UK space agency in a way, and ensure that we still have that
independence.
Because what's the narrative now? Like if someone says, "Well, you're a space agency," no,
we don't. It's part of the Department of Science and Innovation.
It's
Science, Innovation, and Technology. It's not, the narrative is not as compelling. And so, it's interesting.
But if you've got any other thoughts about that or any comments, or if you just don't know, educate us.
Absolutely. We definitely want to hear your views. And I have a quote here from Dr. Simeon Barber of the Open University. And he fears that scrapping the UK Space Agency would lead to Britain's space sector losing focus. He says around the world, countries have been recognizing the importance of space by setting up national space agencies, and for the government to be scrapping ours seems like a backward step. I think I kind of agree with him, to be honest. But let's see. Let's see how it pans out. But that's what's happening, guys. And so the UK Space Agency will be absorbed into the Department for Science, Innovation and Technology in April 2026. So let's see what happens with that. Let's see what happens with that. Okay, so what do I have today? Let's see. So let's talk about the fact that this is a good one. Airbus and Air France complete their inaugural sustainable air sustainable aviation fuel flight with the A2020 on a ferry flight. Now, a ferry flight is a flight that has no passengers, no cargo. It's just moved from one place to another. And this is the first time they have done a flight like this with sustainable aviation fuel. So, and it says that this story was in Canada, Mirabel, Canada, 25th of August. So this week, I believe. And so at their site, France Airbus A220 today completed its delivery flight from Airbus site in Mirabel to Paris, powered by sustainable aviation fuel. Now, this is really significant. It's a landmark in Airbus's capability to deliver a sustainable aircraft, fueled by sustainable fuel, but also it's also indicative of customer acceptance, because it's one thing to say that we want to start fueling jets with sustainable aviation fuel. It's another for customers to accept it. So the fact that they've done this with Air France definitely is a good sign. And also, just for context, it's part of this whole net zero in aviation, net zero 50. So by 2050, the idea is that the aviation industry has net zero carbon emission fuels. So I just want to pull out some key points here. So this landmark flight not only confirms Airbus's capability to provide proofs of sustainability directly to customers and operators, but also supports the industry's commitment to decarbonization. So this flight is 50% SAF, sustainable aviation fuel blend. So that's incredibly that's a good landmark. So just another quote here: fleet renewal and the use of sustainable aviation fuel are the two main levers of the decarbonization of aviation. Combining the two is only logical, and Air France KLM is proud to participate in this Airbus milestone with the delivery flight of one of our eight A220s, A2020s, however you say it, A220s. So yeah, like we're really moving forward with that. And they said that there was another quote that I wanted to quote from here. In 2025 alone, we project cutting CO2 emissions by approximately 400 metric tons at our Mirabel site, thanks to the 170,000 liters of pure SAF we will integrate to our activities. And that's Benoit Schwartz, CEO of Airbus Canada. And we're pushing our ambition further with this ferry flight with proof of sustainability credits for 50% SAF, a significant step that comes just ahead of Air France's 50th A220 delivery later this year on a global scale. 78% of Airbus aircraft were delivered with SAF blend for the first half of the year, underscoring the importance of our customers' place on decarbonization. So yes, the way we fuel aircraft is changing, guys, and this is no longer rhetoric. It's actually happening. So the fact that Airbus is doing this, the fact that Air France is supporting it and investing in it, this is a real landmark in the sector.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's do a bit of Airbus tennis.
Yes, let's do it.
So it's your Airbus story.
Yes.
And it's really sort of their just global reach is obviously just amazing, because I have an Airbus helicopter story.
Yes.
But it's actually more another international piece where Mahindra Aerostructures in India have actually secured a contract to manufacture the main fuselage for Airbus's H125 helicopter.
Okay.
So that is really significant, because that particular helicopter, what it does and what have you, that's that's really essential
Yeah.
to Airbus's sort of fleet from the helicopter perspective. And the fact that there is this growing capability in India to be able to sort of manufacture for this sector is huge. Again, driven by Airbus, and driven by this continued sort of like development energy that's going out in the territory. So
lots happening in India, because I think this week on the Launch Strategist LinkedIn page, we did a video, and it was about the growth of the private jet sector and the fact that it's no longer niche. Actually, it's the future of premium mobility, in fact. And in that, we put a statistic that India's private jet fleet has increased by 25% since 2019. So lots happening in India, and definitely somewhere to watch on the space and commercial aviation side of things.
Defense as well.
Yeah.
Because within the defense sector, India and France again are collaborating to develop an advanced jet engine, but it's for India's indigenous stealth fighters.
Right.
So I love that. So they're building their own fighters, and they're collaborating to ensure that they've got the right engines and what have you. And this is to bolster their defense capability as well. So there's definitely sort of growth within all of those areas.
100%.
So now not just commercial, not just defense, but also sort of the other bits as well, sustainability too. Yeah,
incredible. Right, and so on the Airbus front as well, Airbus is close to taking over Boeing. So I love that. Pretty much on every Aerospace Chronicles, we talk about aviation. We talk about Airbus and Boeing because, a tale of two juggernauts in the industry. Now, neither of them are going anywhere. Let's be real; they're not going anywhere. But it's always interesting to hear the stories that are happening on either side. So the Airbus A320 series is set to overthrow Boeing 737 as the most delivered commercial aircraft in the world, a crown Boeing has held for almost 40 years. So Bloomberg reports, citing data from aviation consultancy Cirium, as of July, the European playmaker is only 20 units short of overtaking Boeing's lifetime lead of 12,175 shipments. And like we've spoken about in previous Aerospace Chronicles, the US-based Boeing has experienced recent setbacks, and that's tied to tariff increase, that's tied to safety issues, that's tied to delays and employee strikes. So they haven't had a wonderful time in recent years.
Back that over to me. Only because I'm just saying, we said we're playing tennis. I got something different. Not something different, but I've got something like to go. Bear's like, really?
Yeah.
Well, did you know? With your what's the getting blah figures, actually, they've just secured a deal with Korean Air. Actually,
wow. Okay.
$50 billion deal.
Yeah.
And they for a purchase of 100 Boeing aircraft.
Wow. Okay.
Now, admittedly, I don't have the details. I can't do just a like here. I don't know if it impacts.
I wonder what one it is.
Yeah, I don't know which one it is. Korean Air is saying it's an attempt to modify their fleet and expand their global operations. I mean, 100 aircraft.
Yeah, I know that's not to be sniffed at.
No, another is the 50 billion.
No, not at all. So like neither of these players are going, like they're not going anywhere. They play in realms that many of us would like to dream of being in. So good on them, to be honest. To have the couple of years they've had and still be getting sales like that is nothing to be sniffed at.
But also like Korean Air just putting some money on the table.
Yeah.
That is big. That's putting some money. That's a $50 billion deal from one airline.
That's incredible. Right. I wonder how long it's going to take Boeing to deliver those, though. That is another story. How long is it actually going to take Boeing to deliver them?
Giggle emoji.
Yeah. Because,
okay.
That is another story.
Enough said.
Okay, so what else do we have? Honeywell. Yeah. So the UK government is funding a consortium to revolutionize aerospace manufacturing. So this is a really good one, actually. And this is a story from today. So a consortium led by Honeywell has received UK government funding for a project that aims to revolutionize how critical aerospace technologies are manufactured in the UK through the use of AI and additive manufacturing. And so it's really great that the UK government continues to invest in the aerospace manufacturing industry, particularly in AI and additive manufacturing and latest technology. And so the project is called Strata, and it will advance. It will focus on the development of 5 innovative components within environmental control systems and cabin pressure control systems aboard aircraft. These complex technologies manage the cabin environment and ensure flyer safety and comfort. And so that's significant. And so we have a quote here from Sarah Jones, Minister of State of the Industry. This is a great news for Honeywell and a good example of how government and business can work together to help keep the UK at the forefront of innovation in our world-class aerospace sector. We're doubling down on this support through our modern industrial strategy, giving business the confidence it needs to invest in UK advanced manufacturing and delivering on our plan for change. And I love that the UK government is actually putting their money where their mouth is. And we've said this before, continue to say it on the Launch Strategist LinkedIn page. The government are really investing in aerospace and space, and it's a real growth industry. And so reading stories like this are really encouraging. And I think the growth of the sector is going to take those public and private partnerships, the two working together. So that's amazing. And I just wanted to share some stats with you about Honeywell, just in case you're not familiar.
If anybody can do this, it's going to be Honeywell.
Yeah, absolutely. So just in case you're not familiar with who Honeywell Aerospace are. So 90% of aircraft in the world use Honeywell avionics. 80% of satellites in orbit have Honeywell on board. 100K plus auxiliary power units delivered since 1959 and 72,000 engines delivered since 1959. And so it's amazing that we have players like this in the UK. It's significant, it's encouraging. So yeah, great things happening. Yeah. So what else do you have for me? I think that's it from me today.
I've got some interesting
let's
ones.
do it.
Let's go to space very, very quickly.
Yeah.
I don't always talk about SpaceX, do I? I don't think when I've had
Not always.
No, I kind of have to
say. But you are our resident SpaceX. So yeah, you tend to handle space.
I handle space, and I'll give you a SpaceX story now, and absolutely right to, because on August the 26th, SpaceX launched its Starship Flight 10 from Starbase, and that is quite it's a milestone really in its space endeavors, because it followed quite a few other failures.
Wow. Okay. Yes.
Never give up.
Never ever.
But we know that dude doesn't kind of give up.
He doesn't. It's not in his DNA to give up. My God.
And so the mission included the deployment of 8 Starlink mass simulators and a controlled splashdown for I don't know what super heavy booster is in the Gulf of Mexico, and it splashed down. Eventually, it came down in Western Australia.
Oh wow!
So
okay.
I mean, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's what happened. That's what happened in I think that's what happened when it didn't go well.
Okay.
Didn't go well. But now it's successfully out there, and this is all happening.
Amazing.
They keep putting a lot of things up there.
They do keep putting a lot of things up there.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Very recently, they've given a bit more of an insight into and some visibility into what their facilities look like in Redmond, Washington. Place that, as people know, I've been a lot. And it's actually been revealed that it's producing at least 70 satellites a week.
Stop it.
Just producing them. I'm going to put them as producing, and the facility features like advanced mini laser technology that's designed to for facilitate high-speed data connections and what have you. And as you know, there's a whole push to have this kind of communication constellation of satellites out there, owned by a private company. Worrying, we've talked about that before, but we move. Until we don't move. And what have you. But there's been a lot going on. And that is, we've always known the numbers are impressive. He's got the most satellites out there. But
and when we speak about the commercialization of space, these are the things that we're talking about. Private entities like SpaceX, Blue Origin, who we're going to talk about. This is what they're doing. Producing how many? 70 satellites a week to do things that we don't.
No, we do know.
We do know. But it's not government. Well, it could be government related.
Well, the fact that we kind of had to wait for them to be gracious enough to get us into the facility to have a look in the first place. It's not like we have the right to hang out. So that's what we've been showed. What's behind?
What's behind it?
What's behind the door that you go and the wall opens? Have I been watching too many movies?
But I think it's actually great. I think it's actually great. It's exciting to see a domain that was once governed by government is now opening up in this way. So I think it's great.
Cool. Now, China.
Yes.
How long have we got? I should have started with this story because I was just like, what now? We're going to one of our favorite topics, workforce, capacity building, get out there. That's if anything that we do in terms of the launch strategies. This is why we deliver these stories in this way, in that we're not necessarily engineers, we're not necessarily brought that, but we can get involved in aerospace and it's so exciting. So I hope that's why we deliver these kind of live, and that's why these kind of stories make sense.
I love this story.
Amazon are facilitating the transition of their warehouse employees into aerospace roles. They're doing this through their career choice education program. Now it's really interesting because I remember seeing adverts about them just saying, I think the advert was like somebody was in a warehouse and he was at home doing all of this work and blah blah blah. And next minute he was in the office and he was like an engineer, a cloud engineer and doing stuff like that. But who knew under the project called Project Kuiper that this was going to expand into the aerospace industry? So it's their former warehouse employees. It's not employees who are in the office.
That's so
they're
great.
Former warehouse employees through an education program being run by the Lake Washington Institute of Technology.
Okay.
And what they actually do is once they've completed this program, they are fully able to get involved in the aerospace manufacturing and assembly of Amazon's satellites.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. And I just really rate and respect Amazon's ingenuity, because while like the aerospace industry is still trying to figure out how they're going to fill the skills shortage, like the way they think, they're forward thinking, they're forward planning, they're strategic thinking, like it's genius. And regardless of what you think about them, I think that this is kind of it's incredible.
And that whole business about take the first step. Like any of those people who went to go and work in the warehouse, and we've had stories and stories about how badly they've been treated and what have you. Some of them actually choose, some of them whatever, but we've had loads and loads of stories, and that could easily have blocked off anybody going to work in those warehouses. It hasn't, because that's how we're getting all our stuff. But the fact that actually there's an expansion of opportunity and possibility. Now, granted, I think that's more recent. I don't think that was the case originally. More recent. But how phenomenal is this to go in and come out?
And so you, like, with the intention of just being a warehouse person, you probably maybe not, I don't know, struggling for money, just wanting to make ends meet. And then you end up being trained on how to assemble satellites and things like that. Like, what an amazing opportunity.
At the Lake Washington Institute of Technology.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Like, this is definitely my favorite story of the day. I will definitely be following this program. And bringing you more insights, because I think it's such a great story.
I think so. Just because it's that industry focus. Like I said, I knew they were doing something. They advertised it really, really widely. I didn't realize it was within this sector, and it was like snaps. Because we've talked about this, and we've just made it a story, but we haven't really been able to say how people are dealing with it and how they're actually what programs and stuff they're created. So this is great.
And I think what I also love about it is that I think that sometimes there's a perceived, at least, elitism in aerospace. And I think the fact that we are democratizing it, and that you're seeing people come in from backgrounds that aren't like outside of aerospace, aren't classically trained in aerospace. You're seeing everyday people get opportunities in aerospace, and it's a real viable career path. Who knows where this is going to go? This is going to completely change the trajectory of these manufacturing workers.
Definitely. So, it's what we've always talked about, what we're about.
So that's great.
I mean, I've got more, but should we can, how are we doing?
I think we're doing for time. What else do you have? I want to know what else you have.
Well, I follow it on from that a little bit. And the requirement for forward thinking. I'm not sure about this timing, because I just think we've known we need to do this work for a while. But in I don't know. The Boeing Defence Australia hosted an initiative, but it says it hosted it in July, so I have to just double check on this fact. It was called Launchpad 2027, and it's kind of in a different vein, but it was an aerospace manufacturing showcase. And the event, and this is the bit that I loved, engaged 150 high school students in hands-on workshops, presentations, and it's to do, again, what we stand for, inspire them to enter careers in the aerospace field. Interestingly, like anything, there's a reason behind it.
As ever.
Funny enough, Boeing has got an upcoming assembly motion that's going to be happening in Australia, and it's going to be assembling its MQ-28 Ghost Bat. Clearly a flying machine.
Clearly a flying machine of some sort.
We'll tell you what that is another day. Anyway.
Australia's first domestically designed and manufactured aircraft in 50 years.
Wow.
That's incredible.
That's what
Australia's first domestically designed and manufactured aircraft in 50 years.
There you go.
Well done, Australia.
Yes, but it's that thing, isn't it? We're building it in Australia, and the Australian kids are going to build it, and they are going to build it because we've told them in the high school in the launch pad. So that's it. We're going to build it here.
I actually love that.
But again, the pipeline piece as well, and this also, again, I think is a reaction to sort of what happened with the tariff conversation, what happened with COVID. It's like, what can we do domestically on our own soil so we're not reliant on
the US,
a possible global supply chain that is broken and fractured in places.
It's smart. Smart.
So that's good.
Wonderful. Well, I certainly enjoyed those stories.
Great.
That is it for this week's or this month's Aerospace Chronicles. Like I said, Katrina, Bumi, we help aerospace companies launch their next level of growth, increasing their commercial capability and marketing effectiveness. And we recently launched our flight path strategy sessions, actually. So if you want to touch base with us, if you want a taste of what we do before really committing to a full engagement, you can go ahead and do that. So you can book an appointment with us at flight.thelaunchstrategist.com. That's flight.thelaunchstrategist.com. So if that resonates and you would like to get a feel for what it is like to work with us, then definitely go to that link. And you can also reach out to us as well, message us directly on LinkedIn, leave a comment, direct message the page. The point being, we are accessible.
Yeah.
So have a wonderful rest of the week, and we will be back with another Aerospace Chronicles next month.
Perfect.
See you soon.
Bye now.
Bye.